Welcome to TDX. How's everyone doing today? A round of applause. Learning new things, hopefully. All right. In our audience here today, just a show of hands, please. How many of y'all are Salesforce admins currently? Admin of a current organization? Awesome. How many of you are power users or end users of an organization? Just a show of hands. How many of you are developers? Show of hands. Okay, very good. So a little bit of a blended crowd here. For those of you who are admins or power users in your organization, show of hands, please, if your organization is currently using Agentforce today. A big journey for a lot of us admins and power users and developers are understanding how we can move our orgs, move our businesses in the direction of AI and specifically Agentforce. That's what we're going to cover today. I've been working with Agentforce since TDX last year, and I will say it's come so far in the last year, particularly the last 6 months, and even over the last couple of months. So for a lot of organizations, where we see the biggest challenge is understanding where to begin, understanding what to enable, what not to enable, understanding and assessing the risks. What we have been working with our clients is piloting these with internal users. So what we're going to be talking about today is turning on Agentforce specifically for your internal users, or if you're a power user, how you can enable it for yourself, and some of the great features that just come right out of the box as soon as you turn it on. So again, my name is Brandon Walton. There's my contact information. I am a Salesforce consultant and an agent blazer. That's something that I'm proud of. And I'm here to teach you all some of the things that I've learned so far. So forward-looking statements. One, Agentforce is evolving very rapidly, very quickly. It seems like every couple of months when you log in, there are new things part of the platform. We're going to be covering some of the things that exist inside of the platform today. But as always, we want to make sure that you are making your purchasing decisions off of your own research. So get into Trailhead, access that Trailhead account with the Agentforce already set up into it, and get your hands on it. That's the best way to educate yourself. So when you're having those business discussions with your team, you're prepared for them. And again, another point, thank you. There's a lot going on here this week, so thank you all for spending time with me. Thanks for those streaming online, for watching us, spending the next 20 minutes with me to go over getting started with Agentforce. Again, Brandon Walton. I work with companies to implement Salesforce solutions and also upskill consultants, employees on learning these new skills as well. All right, so for our agenda today, we are going to talk about enabling the Einstein features and what that means, what permission sets and permission set groups that we want to set up to enable Agentforce, and then what it looks like to actually activate Agentforce and some of the things that you're going to get with it right away as it exists right now. So getting started with Agentforce does not need to be something tricky. I know there's a lot of complex conversations that you're likely having inside of your company right now about what's included, what is entail. But getting started with it is actually very simple to do as an admin, and I would encourage you to drive those conversations around just setting up the out-of-the-box features so that your company can get more familiarized with them and start driving your advancement of using AI with Salesforce. The simple steps are just what we're going to cover today, just in our agenda. First, you turn it on. Easy as that. There's a toggle that we'll use to enable it. Secondly, we assign the permission set. So one of the great things about using Agentforce versus if you were to build your own AI solution DIY outside of Agentforce is you can leverage things that as admins we're already very comfortable with. Our permission set. So we can control which users have access to it. And one of the things that I would encourage you to do if you're looking to set this up for your organization is only set it up for a couple of users. So one of the nice things that we can do is we can control who has access to what. So we can assign permission sets specifically for certain users, and then we can turn on Agentforce, activate Agentforce for those users only. So getting started really is easy as 1, 2, 3. Step one, let's enable Einstein. So When we talk about enabling Einstein, Einstein is the suite of AI products that Salesforce releases. It's more than just Agentforce. For those admins that have been around for a while, you're probably familiar with the Einstein activity capture and other Einstein features and tools like that. So when we're talking about Einstein generative AI, we're talking about something that lives inside of that suite. It is part of the Agentforce family. You can see Einstein AI models is there. It's all part of this Customer 360 built directly in the platform. It's unified. You can trust it. You can turn it on. It's not like going and building your own custom integration using ChatGPT or outside tools. So to enable the Einstein features, we're going to go to our setup. We're going to go to Einstein setup. We're going to toggle it on. And then we'll be able to review and configure certain Einstein features such as the Einstein Trust Layer and data configuration. So just because I don't trust conference internet, I've got a GIF here of what that looks like. So you'll navigate as an admin to Einstein setup is what you'll type in, and you'll toggle it on. And you can see you have the option to turn on Einstein, plus some of these other deployment features, including Einstein Trust Layer and collecting and storing Einstein generative AI features. So that's it. As an admin, this is one of the easier things that you're going to have to do. Einstein setup, and simply turn it on. Now the good news is once you turn it on, you're not at risk of exposing this to a bunch of users that shouldn't have access to it. Because it's on Salesforce, because it's on the platform that we're already using permission sets, we have the ability to control which users have access to Einstein when we turn it on. So as admins, you should be familiar with what these permission sets are. When you enable the generative Einstein features, you'll get some of these additional Agentforce permission sets. And the ones that we're going to be looking for to give our users access is going to be the Agentforce default admin, the Access Agentforce default admin, and the prompt template builder. Salesforce has a newer way to manage permission sets that I am a big fan of for these out-of-the-box solutions, as well as when we're setting things up custom for customers, and that is permission set groups. Who here is familiar with permission set groups already? Wonderful. You all are excellent admins. So good for us when we're turning on Agentforce for our teams. Rather than having to manually assign those permission sets one by one, we already have a permission set group set up. And there's two groups. There's the Copilot Salesforce admin group, which is for admins, and folks are going to give the ability to administer our agents. And then the second one is just for our users. So the user is who is going to have access to our agents once we build them up. So you can see here's a permission set group, and we can see they're nicely labeled there right by each other. They're the Copilot Salesforce admin permission set groups. And what those effectively are is those are going to give access to those permission sets that those users need to be able to either be admins or users of the platform. Now that we have the generative AI features turned on, and now that we have given permission to the users that we want to give access to the tool, now enabling Agentforce is just as simple as turning it on. So to enable Agentforce, we are going to enable Agentforce agents. We will create a new agent. In fact, there's a default agent that makes this even easier than it was before. And then we'll test and publish the agent. So once you have the permission set to be an admin, you'll be able to put directly into your quick find as a Salesforce admin agent. And that's going to bring up this agent screen. And then just like we did before with our generative AI features, we just click it on. And once we turn it on, it's going to give us the ability to have, you'll see a Copilot agent there by default. Depending on what other SKUs you have, you'll be able to enable the SDRs and the service agents and all of those good things. But we're just going to focus specifically on that default Copilot agent. So this is the agent builder. So once you set up your agent and you have this agent builder, you will see a ton of this at TDX this week, and you'll get really familiar with this the more that you work with Agentforce. But that agent builder is where we're going to test our agent before we deploy it. Now, 6 months ago, if you wanted your agent to do anything, you would have to build and test things inside of this agent. But today, one of the great things about Agentforce as it exists right now is it does a lot of the things that we used to have to program it for already. And I would anticipate, forward-looking statement, that more and more features are just going to become available to us out of the gate. So let's see it in action. So right now you can see We've enabled it for a user. You know it's enabled because you'll have that extra Astro symbol there. Your users will click on that Astro symbol, and then it's active and up and running. And in fact, just to show very quickly, I do have a brief live demo here. I can click on Agentforce. Whoops. We'll clear the history for right now. I can click on Agentforce, and I can say, show all top opportunities by amount. Now again, this is an agent that we have not added any agent actions to or anything. All we've done is turn it on. And you can see it can already query our data, give us results. This is something that before we might have to build a report for, build a list with some filters on it and return the results. But all we did was turn this on, and it can already query our data, give us insights when we ask for it, and save our users a lot of time. All right, so getting started with Agentforce, some tips. So one, this is from a workshop that we did previously. Identify specific use cases and business use cases. I would say encourage your business teams to turn it on. Turn on the default features, and see where that gets you. Once you see what Agentforce does out of the box, you can really have more meaningful conversations around the other specific use cases that you may want to do. Those specific use cases will start incorporating, inevitably, building out custom actions, connecting to other data sources, using Data Cloud, using some of these other features that you'll learn about this week, and you might have already been learning about before. I suggest start with the default agent, use it, ask questions, enable it for some of your trusted power users, and then use the starting point to drive what the rest of the conversation will go. And then finally, leverage the Trailblazer community. The Agentforce community is already really strong. There's already a lot of great content there. You can become an Agentblazer champion. Strongly recommend referencing the community that already exists today to help you out. Also provided is a quick start guide for Einstein Solutions. This will take you to essentially what we just covered here today, where you can go through these steps on your own, at your own pace. Thank you, everybody.